What is going on, everybody? This is Devilius. I am back with a brand new video. Today's video is focused on the 2021 movie The Outside Story, starring Brian Tyler Henry as Charles. And the synopsis of the movie is an introverted editor living a vertical life in his second floor apartment, always on a deadline and in a rut, goes through somewhat of a sad phase after breaking up with his girlfriend. When Charles locks himself out of his building, he's forced to go horizontal and confront the world he's been avoiding in such a way to find a way back into his apartment. And this movie right here, in my honest opinion, I think this is a pretty good movie. It was easy to follow. There wasn't that many issues of the movie. Many of the characters were enjoyable, were pretty well written in my opinion. And just the whole story itself of having to go through many things just to get back into your house or whatever after being locked out. And I have been locked out before, out of my house before, and it is a horrible feeling when you don't have no keys and your phone is somewhat about to die. It sucks. Here is my review on the matter. I would say the first thing I enjoyed about this movie would be the characters. Brian Tyler Henry did a pretty good job as Charles. Like, he was a good character. I think that he was written well as an introverted editor, and how he's just a typical person that doesn't go outside, that's never like view the world and everything, and just how this change made him it basically forced him to explore his outer beings, the outside world. And what we saw in this movie was that Charles, he met new characters, he met new people, he experienced a lot of different things, such as trying out new places, getting parking tickets, and just finding like a new part of himself that he hasn't seen before, or just rediscovering something that he's lost before but finally rediscovered. I would say, as for the other main characters, as for Sonequa Martin Green, who played Aisha, I thought that her character was done pretty well, even though we don't see her that much in this movie. Like, you see many flashbacks of her and Charles, but as for her and in the present, you only see her that like very little of it. I would say maybe maybe 20% you see her in the present with Charles, but just many flashbacks of her and Charles throughout this entire movie. Sunita Mani as Officer Slater. At first, I didn't like her character, but by the end of the movie, she was a cool person. She was cool to me. She was cool. She was cool and everything, and she was just doing her job. But at the end of the day, she was just a cool person. She wasn't anything bad. She wasn't really a villain. Maybe like an a-hole at first, but as the movie kept going forward, I started to like her character a lot more. As for the other main characters that were in this movie, I felt that all the other characters were written pretty good in this movie, as each had like their own different personality and just unique. Now, I wouldn't say this movie had any like real villains in this movie. I would say perhaps there was one character that I did not like in this movie, and she doesn't do anything necessarily to the main character. It's just that how she acted and everything. I'm not going to say what character it was, but she just did a little bit too much in the movie, and it just seems as if that she would be the type of person to probably like abuse her kids if they didn't do something right or whatever. I felt that the story was good because it just shows you the type of things that somebody will do to get back into their place or to their homes, or how somebody will just explore a new world that they never seen before with being an introverted person. And that's the type of person that I am. I am introverted. I don't go out that much. I don't have that many friends. I do, but I don't talk to them. I don't call them or whatever. And what we saw in this movie was that Charles, he tries new things. He meets new people. He explores a whole new world outside of his home. And I thought that it was pretty good. I would say there was almost a dark scene in this movie, but it gets quickly resolved as it was just a whole misunderstanding. Now, I would say probably the one thing I did not like about this movie would have to be probably the scene where Brian's landlord tells him to wait for him until he gets back instead of calling a locksmith. Now, had he just called a locksmith, this movie would have been over just like that. But I know why they did that because they told the whole story, and it worked. Like if he would have just called a locksmith, it would have been done quicker. But as the landlord say, they can make a copy of your key and just come in, and just take your stuff without you knowing. But yeah, this movie was pretty easy to follow. The movie is centered on one entire day, nothing longer, and just flashbacks. And this movie is somewhat quick of a movie. It's less than 90 minutes. And out of all, how I would rate The Outside Story out of 5 stars, I would probably give The Outside Story 3.5 stars out of 5. It's an enjoyable movie. You won't have a bad time watching it, and it wasn't anything cringeworthy or bad in my opinion. It was just pretty fun to watch. You have good characters, and I think somebody will have a good time maybe enjoying watching the movie. But this is the end of my review. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment, and until next time, goodbye.